about Potter. I'm curious if...
Sorry, like shouting.
No, it's cool. I'm just curious if maybe you had borrowed anything from set to keep, hypothetically speaking.
Oh, okay. This is code. No, I asked for permission to actually take with me Hermione's time turner, and from the third movie, and the cloak, and my wand. So those are my three things that I took with me.
Now you mentioned you might be going back for reshoots. In those reshoots, hypothetically, could you be thinking, maybe I want to take something, my future, my adult, my grown-up sort of clothing?
Yeah. Jani Tamimi, who's the costume. I think she's very. That's her job. I wouldn't get involved like that.
I was going to ask, because Hermione seemed to be the brightest always here, if she was an influence on you, and you've just been talking about these other people who have been influencing your teacher in your life, and do you think Hermione has influenced the way you look at the world a little bit, or is it just that
I'm sure
you've
she has.
influenced?
I think it's both. Like, parts of my personality have slipped into Hermione, and parts of her personality, I'm sure, have like unconsciously affected me. I'm sure. I'm positive that playing her has had an influence.
How much of that is in the current movie? How much of that is in the current movie? In that you very much blossomed and come to the fore in this one, haven't you? A lot of people have been making that point.
Thank you. I think this Hermione is the closest Hermione to my own personality. Definitely.
And you've enjoyed that?
I've really enjoyed that. David really wanted a really honest performance, and it was really nice to play. I feel like, earlier on I played more like a parody of myself, or like a kind of a real character. She was this big personality, and she's developed into something much more human and relatable and organic.
Can we talk about the big snog scene?
Please.
Yeah. So what was it like to shoot that, and were you concerned at all about making it authentic? What was it like kissing?
I was really concerned about making it authentic, and so as a result, Dan's been telling everyone that I pounced on him, that I'm an animal, all this stuff. I was so worried about it coming across as the kiss being as awkward as I felt going into the scene. I just wanted to make it as real as possible, and it obviously had to be something that would disturb Ron and make him really jealous. So from Hermione's end, it had to be passionate. But I sound like I'm defending myself. I don't know. It sound like I'm defending myself.
In that scene, did you guys shoot it against green screen with him in front of you guys, or did you shoot it twice? Like, how many times?
We just shot it. We shot it without Rupert there. We did it as like a separate thing on green screen.
But were you thinking, I got to really turn this on because we've got to? This has to make him crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was exactly what I was thinking. It had to be nasty, really nasty. The dialogue of the kiss just wasn't differentiate.
The kisses can get nasty too. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're the world's premier young Hermione shipper, so how is their relationship actually almost getting there in this film?
Well, obviously the fact that he gets jealous of Hermione and Harry, it becomes obvious that he has feelings for her. And when he comes back, you can just... Rupert's performance is so brilliant. When he comes back, it's perfect. He plays it perfectly. You can just... It's all written over Rupert's face that he really loves her, and he regrets terribly leaving her. So, part 2 really is is where you really see it develop, though.
When did you first hear that it was going to be 2 movies, and what was your reaction?
At first, I'll be honest, at first I was like, oh my goodness, I can't even, because we were doing 6 at the time. I was like, oh my god, 3 more movies. I was just overwhelmed. I was like, wow, that is a lot. And I was also like, is this a money spinner? I was very cynical and dubious about it. I will be honest. I was not immediately impressed. But then I thought about it, and I talked it over with David, the producers, and he just said, look, there's no way we can fit everything into one movie. It will be too much. It won't be a good movie. It won't be true to the book. We're not even sure we can call it Deathly Hallows because we don't even know if we can fit that storyline in because we're trying to focus so much on just getting the Horcruxes and killing them. We'd have to call it something different. It would just be crazy. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, as soon as I saw the logic behind it, I realised that it was absolutely the way that we had to do it, and so yeah, it made total sense, and I was totally behind it. But certainly, at first, I had my reservations.
And it was the most physically, I read, the most physically demanding. You talked about being cold and wet for just ages.
Especially part 2. There were days when I was in tears to David. I was just like, I'm so... Because more than anything, just being cold and wet all the time just takes so much energy out of you. It's just so draining. And trying to give a good performance when you just are miserable.
And want to go to sleep.
And want to go to sleep. Exactly. I was begging with him some days, and he just said, it just looks so much better that you guys look so much more vulnerable, and that it's so much realer that you guys just kind of... You are heroes, but at the same time, you kind of just look like these... I think... And he's right, it looks great on screen. We look like these bedraggled, kind of unlikely heroes. So it works, but God, there were days when I was just wanted to kill him.
So do you laugh when people tell you what a glamorous life you've had?
My people who are close to me know, they so know that it was not. There were days when it was decidedly unglamorous, and there were days I was so tired I would fall asleep anywhere. There are so many. They'll never be released, but Yap, our on-set photographer, has pictures of me falling asleep everywhere, like in chairs, on the floor, in the middle of a set, like curled up like this, like just curled up, everywhere and anywhere.
The cat. The little cat on the
like
set.
a cat, exactly. And you never know. There were times when crew members were didn't know where to find me, but they knew I'd be curled up in a corner somewhere.
In contrast, what would you say is the most glamorous moment that you've experienced over the course of the last 10 years?
Most glamorous moment.
That dress coming down the stairs, was that in part 3?
That was pretty glamorous.
Oh, not
It's
necessarily
not
on
quite,
set though,
okay,
just generally.
just generally. When Chanel flew me to Paris to choose to try on premiere outfits. It was ridiculous. And I went around Coco Chanel's apartment, and it was just, that was like I found that really overwhelming.
Does this film represent your swan song for acting? Is this it for you? Do you plan to do more? Where do you want to take your career after?
Where do I want to take my career after this? I guess I want to diversify a bit, and I don't want to throw myself into another big blockbuster or another big franchise anytime soon. So smaller films, just small little interesting parts. I think I'd even like to play around with some really good supporting roles, and then develop into, rather than, I don't know, just like feel my way into it. A bit more. I'm not planning on. I don't know. I'd love to try some theatre. That's my other thing. I'd love to do some Shakespeare.